My beloved child. Pause for a single moment before you scroll away. This message did not arrive by accident, and neither did you. Something unexpected has already begun to unfold behind the scenes, and if you leave now, you may miss the one part that changes the meaning of everything. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There was a quiet moment when your soulmate believed everything was exactly as it had always been. Life appeared ordinary on the surface, yet beneath that calm, countless emotions remained unspoken. They had grown comfortable believing there would always be another tomorrow, another chance to tell you what their heart had been carrying. But life has a mysterious way of interrupting comfort. One unexpected discovery shattered the peaceful picture they had created in their mind. They found out that you had been talking to someone else. They did not know the full story. They did not know the reason. All they knew was that a single thought suddenly echoed through their heart: what if I waited too long? That question refused to leave them. Don't skip. The next moments reveal why this became the turning point they never saw coming. At first, they tried to ignore what they had learned. They told themselves it probably meant nothing. They repeated every comforting excuse they could think of, hoping their heart would become quiet again. But the more they tried to forget it, the louder their thoughts became. Every memory of you returned with incredible clarity. They remembered the first time they smiled because of something you said. They remembered conversations that seemed ordinary at the time but suddenly carried a completely different meaning. They remembered every opportunity they had allowed to pass because they believed there would always be another chance. That confidence slowly disappeared. For the first time, they realized that silence can sometimes create a greater distance than words ever could. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. That evening became unlike any other. Instead of distracting themselves, they sat quietly, asking difficult questions they had avoided for far too long. Were they protecting their heart, or simply hiding behind fear? Had they mistaken patience for courage? Had they convinced themselves that waiting was the safest choice, when in reality it was slowly stealing away the future they secretly hoped for? Those questions echoed again and again until they could no longer escape them. In that silence, something extraordinary happened. Their fear stopped controlling them. It did not disappear, but it lost its power. For the very first time, they understood that the greatest risk was never expressing how they truly felt. Don't skip. The biggest revelation has not happened yet. As the hours passed, they stopped thinking about the person you had been talking to. Instead, they began thinking about themselves. They realized that jealousy was never the real lesson. The real lesson was urgency. Life does not always announce when important moments arrive. Sometimes they appear quietly, asking only one question: will you finally be honest? That realization changed everything inside them. They no longer wanted perfect timing. They no longer wanted guaranteed answers. They simply wanted one opportunity to stop hiding behind uncertainty and speak from the heart with complete sincerity. The next morning, they looked at the world differently. The sunrise seemed brighter. Familiar streets felt unfamiliar. Every ordinary moment carried a strange sense of importance because they knew something inside them had changed forever. They were no longer waiting for destiny to move first. They had decided that hope without action was only another form of delay. And delay had already cost them enough. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. But the story did not end there. Just when they believed they understood everything, another unexpected realization appeared. They remembered every small kindness you had shown, every encouraging word, every quiet moment when your actions spoke louder than your voice. Suddenly, they wondered if they had misunderstood your silence all along. Perhaps you had never been waiting for perfection. Perhaps you had simply been waiting for honesty. That possibility filled them with both excitement and humility. Instead of imagining the worst, they began believing that genuine conversations still have the power to rewrite unfinished stories. As they stood there, taking a deep breath, they made a promise they had never made before. No more assumptions. No more endless waiting. No more allowing fear to decide what love should do. Whatever happened next, they wanted it to be built on truth instead of uncertainty. In that single decision, they discovered something far more valuable than confidence. They discovered courage. Don't skip. This journey is only beginning. What happened after this decision surprised even them. The weight they had carried for so long slowly began to disappear. Nothing around them had changed yet, but everything inside them had. They finally understood that the greatest transformations rarely begin with dramatic events. They begin with one quiet decision to stop running from what truly matters. And that decision became the first chapter of a story neither of you could have imagined. Stay with this story until the very end, because what happened after this moment became the unforgettable turning point that changed everything forever. Something unexpected was already beginning to unfold, even though neither of you could see it. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you, and the next moments reveal why this discovery became the turning point neither heart was prepared for. Your soulmate could not stop thinking about what they had learned. Every attempt to distract themselves only brought your name back into their mind. They replayed every conversation they had ever shared with you, searching for a clue they had somehow overlooked. Suddenly, they noticed something they had never understood before. Every time you smiled, every time you encouraged someone, every time you showed kindness, they had quietly admired you but convinced themselves there would always be another chance to express it. Now, after discovering that you had been talking to someone else, tomorrow no longer felt guaranteed. For the first time, they understood that waiting can slowly steal away the future we hope to protect. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Instead of allowing fear to control their thoughts, they decided to uncover the truth. Not by making assumptions. Not by rushing to conclusions. They simply wanted to understand what was really happening. As they reflected with an open heart, they realized something that completely changed their perspective. The person you had been talking to was never the real story. The real story was the opportunity your soulmate had been ignoring for far too long. They understood that life had been gently asking them one question again and again: if this connection truly matters, why are you still hiding your heart? That question echoed through every quiet moment until it became impossible to ignore. Stay till the end, because the next realization changed everything. As evening arrived, they found themselves standing in complete silence. No noise. No distractions. Just memories. They remembered moments that once seemed ordinary but now felt priceless. They remembered your encouragement during difficult days. They remembered your laughter that made ordinary conversations unforgettable. They remembered the way your kindness inspired people without asking for recognition. Suddenly they realized they had never truly appreciated how rare your presence was until they imagined life without it. That realization filled them with gratitude instead of regret. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Then something extraordinary happened. They stopped asking themselves whether they were good enough. Instead, they began asking whether they had been honest enough. It was a completely different question. For so long they had focused on becoming perfect before expressing their feelings. But perfection had only created delay. They finally understood that sincerity carries far more power than perfection ever could. A genuine heart speaks louder than flawless words. That single realization lifted a burden they had carried for far too long. The next morning felt different. They noticed hope where they once saw uncertainty. Every ordinary moment carried a quiet reminder that opportunities are precious because they are never promised forever. They smiled for a reason they could not fully explain. Deep inside, they knew something beautiful was beginning. They no longer wanted to wonder, what if? They wanted to create a future built on honesty, courage, and understanding. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. As they continued reflecting, another unexpected memory surfaced. They remembered a small conversation with someone close to them who had once said, "The greatest stories begin the moment someone chooses courage over comfort." Those words suddenly carried a meaning they had never understood before. They realized this story was never about losing someone. It was about discovering the strength to stop hiding behind uncertainty. At that very moment, they made a quiet promise to themselves. No more waiting for perfect timing. No more allowing fear to write the ending of a story that had barely begun. Whatever happened next, they wanted their actions to reflect the truth their heart had been carrying all along. If this story has touched your heart so far, share it with someone who believes that honest conversations can change lives, because sometimes a single message reaches the exact person who needs it most. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. What happened after this promise surprised everyone involved. A series of small, meaningful moments began falling into place, almost as if life itself was quietly creating another opportunity. The story that once seemed to be slipping away had not reached its ending at all. It was preparing for its most unforgettable chapter. And your soulmate was finally ready to step into it with a heart that was no longer ruled by hesitation, but by hope. Everything was about to become clearer, but not in the way anyone expected. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because this is the moment when the story takes a direction that neither you nor your soulmate could have imagined. Your soulmate made a quiet decision that changed everything. Instead of allowing unanswered questions to grow larger, they chose to pay attention to the moments they had once overlooked. They noticed that every meaningful memory they treasured had one thing in common: you were always present. It was never about grand gestures. It was the simple conversations, the shared laughter, the words of encouragement, and the quiet understanding that stayed with them long after each conversation ended. Those ordinary moments suddenly became extraordinary. Don't skip. The biggest revelation has not arrived yet. As they reflected on everything, they realized they had misunderstood one important truth. They had believed that love grows through perfect timing, but they finally discovered that genuine connections grow through honesty, patience, and courage. Waiting had never strengthened the bond. Honest action would. That realization brought an unexpected sense of peace. For the first time in a long while, they stopped comparing themselves to anyone else. The thought that you had been talking to someone no longer filled them with uncertainty. Instead, it inspired them to become more authentic. They understood that no meaningful connection is built through fear. It is built through trust, respect, and the willingness to be real. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Later that day, something remarkable happened. A small reminder unexpectedly appeared, a familiar place, a familiar song, a familiar memory. To everyone else it seemed completely ordinary, but to your soulmate it felt like a quiet invitation to stop running from their own heart. They smiled, not because every answer had appeared, but because they finally understood what they needed to do next. The future no longer felt uncertain. It felt possible. Don't skip. As they continued thinking, another powerful realization emerged. They remembered every time they had almost expressed how much your presence meant to them. They remembered the words they never sent, the conversations they rehearsed in silence, and the opportunities they quietly allowed to pass. Looking back, they understood something unforgettable. Life rarely waits forever. Sometimes it gently asks whether we are willing to take one sincere step forward before the opportunity becomes another memory. Those thoughts transformed hesitation into determination. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The following morning carried a different kind of energy. Instead of wondering what might happen, they began preparing themselves for what they hoped to create. They wanted every future conversation to reflect honesty instead of uncertainty. They wanted every decision to come from confidence instead of fear. Most importantly, they wanted you to know the truth they had kept hidden behind silence for far too long. Then came the moment that surprised even them. While reflecting on everything that had happened, they realized the greatest lesson had never been about someone else entering the picture. The greatest lesson was discovering how valuable your connection had always been. Sometimes it takes one unexpected moment to reveal what the heart has quietly known all along. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. If this story has made you reflect on someone who has changed your life through kindness, share this journey with them. Sometimes a simple story arrives exactly when someone needs hope the most. Your soulmate took one final deep breath and made a promise that would shape everything that followed. No more silence. No more endless waiting. No more allowing fear to decide the future. With a calm heart and renewed courage, they stepped toward the next chapter, completely unaware that the very next encounter would become the unforgettable moment that changed both of your lives forever. Just when it seemed the story had reached its turning point, an even greater surprise quietly unfolded. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because what happened next became the moment your soulmate would remember for the rest of their life. The decision they made in silence began changing the way they saw everything around them. Instead of focusing on the fear that you had been talking to someone else, they started asking a completely different question. What if this moment wasn't meant to push me away? What if it was meant to wake me up? That single thought transformed their entire perspective. Suddenly, they no longer saw this discovery as the end of a story. They saw it as the beginning of the most important chapter they had never been brave enough to write. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. As the days moved forward, they began noticing little details that had always been there but had never captured their attention before. They remembered how naturally conversations with you flowed. They remembered how even the shortest exchange could brighten an ordinary day. They remembered the encouragement you gave without expecting anything in return. Every memory became another reminder that truly meaningful connections are built one sincere moment at a time. Those memories no longer filled them with regret. Instead, they filled them with gratitude and hope. Then something completely unexpected happened. An opportunity appeared that they had not planned for. It was simple, ordinary, and easy to overlook. Yet to them, it felt like life had quietly whispered, "This is your chance." They paused for a moment, smiled to themselves, and realized they had two choices. They could continue wondering what might happen, or they could finally become the person they had always wanted to be, honest, confident, and genuine. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. For the first time, they stopped imagining perfect conversations and decided to embrace real ones. They no longer searched for flawless words because they had discovered that sincerity speaks more clearly than perfection ever can. Every step they took forward made fear feel smaller. Every honest thought gave them greater confidence. They realized that courage does not remove uncertainty. Courage simply refuses to let uncertainty make every decision. That realization became one of the greatest lessons of their life. Then came the moment that changed everything. While reflecting on everything they had experienced, they suddenly understood something they had completely missed from the very beginning. The discovery that you had been talking to someone else had not destroyed their feelings. It had revealed the depth of those feelings. Without that unexpected moment, they might have continued hiding behind hesitation forever. What first appeared to be a setback had quietly become the very reason they finally found the strength to move forward. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Their heart felt lighter than it had in a very long time. They no longer measured the future by fear or assumptions. They measured it by possibilities. Instead of asking, "What if I lose this connection?" they began asking, "What beautiful future could begin if I choose honesty today?" That single shift changed everything inside them. It gave them hope where there had once been uncertainty. It gave them peace where there had once been endless questions. If this story has reminded you that one honest moment can change an entire future, share it with someone who believes that the most meaningful journeys begin with courage. Sometimes the right story reaches the right heart at exactly the right time. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the sun slowly disappeared beyond the horizon, your soulmate looked toward tomorrow with a quiet smile they had not worn in a long time. They no longer felt trapped by what if. They were finally ready for what comes next. Deep inside, they sensed that the next meeting, the next conversation, or even the next unexpected moment would reveal something far greater than they had imagined. And somewhere beyond everything they could see, another remarkable chapter was already beginning to unfold, a chapter that would reveal a truth neither of you expected, and one unforgettable conversation that would change the direction of this story forever.